Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR Prepping. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel where we just talk about emergency preparedness. We really talk about what me and my family do and give you ideas of hopefully what you can do for you and yours. So get your drink, pull up. Let's talk about it today. We're going to talk about gas prices. We're going to talk about OPEX. We're going to talk about basically just in general, very loosely, the importance of stockpiling fuel. And in my opinion, this goes way beyond gas. Stockpiling gas, the importance of that. Yes, that's important, but it's very hard for the average person to store a lot of gas that would actually make a difference. I mean, even storing enough gas for a bug out trip, depending on how far you're going, can be a difficult task, okay? And it's not easy. It takes a lot of space, okay? And so fuel in general, lamp oil, propane for cooking and for different other emergency needs, to me, hold a lot more value than, say, gas. However, gas is important and gas should be kept if you can and you have the ability to do so. It's just like anything else. You want to stockpile and have an emergency reserve so that you can continue to do the things. If disaster hits, certain things happen, you can't get something. In this case, prices going up. A lot of the country already is seeing the prices go up. This isn't totally shocking. And also, we all just went through this, a few months back, maybe half a year ago back, where we were dealing with very, very high gas prices, and it was ridiculous and it was hardcore. And of course you had channels like me, like, hey, stockpile your gas, get your gas. And really we tell you that too is, now's the time, even with now and what's happening now, and it's already kind of started, and prices have already jumped. It still is important that if you do have canisters, you have stuff that is not topped off, it's not filled up, your gas tanks are not filled up, you need to, all your cars, you need to be keeping those filled up, right? And then all your individual hand carry tanks, you need to fill those up, top those off. And because the reason why you don't want to wait, a lot of people are like, well, if it's already started, it's too late. But the prices are going to continue to rise. And both gas prices, natural gas, this is affecting the whole caboodle, okay? And so it's important that you get ahead of it the best you can. If you are able to store gas, remember your stabilizers is very, very important for keeping it fresh, keeping it safe, everything, okay? So make sure you're getting stabilizer. I like to buy stabilizer in bulk, and I think it's more cost effective buying stabilizer in bulk. And then each time I'm getting a new thing of gas, a new fresh thing of gas, we're putting the stabilizer. Also, we like to go through it. So like even the gas, when we went through this 6-8 months ago, we were trying to rotate the gas that we had stockpiled into our regular tanks from time to time, right? We don't just get gas, keep it, and that was it. We once in a while would grab one of those, fill the tanks with that, and get it into rotation, and then fill that canister again, okay? So the idea should still be there. Obviously, if you can't do this, you can't do this, right? We lived in apartments for many, many years where we could not store gas whatsoever. But if you have a gas generator, obviously you need to store gas. If you have anything that runs on gas, tools, different things like that, that you want to continue to be able to using, even something as simple as a lawnmower, whatever, that stuff's important. Obviously, if it's a total collapse, something major happens because of this, and there's a domino effect, obviously you're not going to be using gas for lawnmower. You're going to be using it for other pertinent items. But fuel in general is important. This is just an example of gas being an issue. Gas is going to continue to be an issue. This is going to affect your budget. You're going to need to make sure that you get ahead of your budget. And when you're figuring that out, it's going to cost more gas. If you had any kind of regimens that you fell into, okay, I started riding my bike, or I started carpooling, or I started taking the car that takes less gas, it's less expensive opposed to my truck or a gas guzzler, right? So whatever those things are, keep in mind that that's probably, coming down the road here quick, okay? And for some people, they've already felt it, they've already can feel it, the difference. So get ahead of it how you can. This is no different than any other area. Stockpile, and in this moment of thinking about gas and that type of fuel, use it as a learning point to assess your other fuel items, right? And making sure that you have those things. Propane, even the little 1 pounders, the big 20 pounders, they have at bigger pounders, right? So all your propane, your butane, your, your charcoal for the barbecuer, different things, wood chips for the smoker, whatever. But all the different types of fuel type things, wood for a wood stove. A lot of people, this might be something to think about, because maybe this affects everything, right? So this is going to affect natural gas as well. So you have natural gas coming in, maybe to warm your house or whatever. You need to think about that stuff, right? You need to think about what happens if this gets to a point where that stuff starts getting regulated, rationed out. Hey, you can't use this much, whatever. That affects electricity. Now your electricity bill goes up. So think about those things, right? More important than ever to get your wood stoves. For those of you that have opportunity to do that, you have a house you own, you have a property, you are able to get a permit and get a wood stove. It's important that you get that stuff and think about that for the future. That has to be a must in your house, because they're already trying to regulate all these rules anyway with gas stoves and gas heaters, just all this stuff, right, that they're trying to regulate. So this whole thing with gas is a whole push and pull. As conflict keeps moving forward, alliances start being made. People are going to, not people, but countries are going to start making decisions to pull back. And in this case, the Saudis have decided to pull back. And that's no different. Resource wars will be a thing in the future. First of all, every war has been over a resource, if you didn't know. Us and our role in the Ukraine thing, that proxy thing, that is because of resources. The whole China, Taiwan thing is because of resources. We can say all day long that we want to protect them and we want to be the big brother that helps everybody be free, and that's malarkey. Okay, everything has to do with staying in the superpower seat, being in control of the world, if you will, having the top dollar, if you will, and resources, and having the ability to get those and maintain them and manage them, even if they're in a different country, under a different leadership, different people. It doesn't matter. We are always going to assert ourselves that we're in charge, and resource wars and resources are going to be a thing. The whole import, export, supply and demand, that's all resources, you guys. And so that is going to be a problem. We talk about the resource thing as far as China and losing the ability to get medicine and all of that stuff. That's a resource, right? Gas is a resource. Natural gas is a resource. Some of these things, obviously, we have in our own country, and for whatever reasons, we've decided to turn some of those things off, and we want to concentrate in other areas, which is mind-boggling. But we're going to learn our lesson. It's time, baby. It's time for us to fall, unfortunately. And so you have to do your part to get your family ready. Prepare for that. Prepare for the things that could happen. Prepare for an emergency crisis. Keep pushing forward. Know that gas prices are going to continue to go up in the weeks to come. I'm not an expert, so I can't tell you how long that's going to last once those go up. But there's good and there's bad. There's bad because, some people are still going on vacations, which I have no idea how you're doing that. But some people are still going on vacations. And so there's a lot of travel, right? There's an uptick. There's a lot of people that move during the summer, which means you need gas to be able to move. So gas is a big deal when you're trying to think about movement. And it's summertime when people are trying to be out. But on the flip side of that also, it's warmer. So you have less people maybe trying to stay warm. You have less stuff going on. You have the bigger ability to, okay, I'll just walk to work, or I'll just bike to work, or right, because the weather is nicer. So there's some other options that aren't as crazy as they would be in the winter. Maybe biking to work in the winter, even a couple miles, could be devastating if there's snow outside, right? So there's pros and cons with everything. You try to stay positive of the good, but just know it's heartache. So take a look at your budget, allocate now that gas is going to go up. Figure out your game plan for that now, how you're going to make that work, right? And how you're going to store gas, if you can store gas. If you can store gas and you need more gas canisters, you need to get that stuff. Get your stabilizer, get your stuff. Get your gas now, because getting it today is going to cost you, even though it's more than maybe if you got it 2 days ago, it's still going to be less than if you get it in 2 weeks from now. Okay. And all the shenanigans are gonna start, right? You're gonna see shortages. You're gonna see unsafe ways of people trying to store gas, trying to pick up gas in plastic bags, and you're gonna see very, very dangerous stuff happening. And you're going to see rioting and the normal stuff. You're going to see the normal signs on gas places that are, have ran out of gas. You're going to see panic in some areas where you're going to see gas lines. I mean, it just is what it is. As we move forward, it's going to be the same stuff that we saw before. Okay. But hopefully they get a grip on it. I don't know what we're going to do, because the problem is we have all these things that are happening that are on the brink. And baby, if one goes, it's going to push a lot of these other ones over the, into the brink. So it's bad. It's not good, right? But it's not shocking, and I'm actually kind of numb to it. I'm getting number and number as we move forward. So push forward with the things that you need to do. Get the things done. Enjoy your week. Getting ready for the weekend. I wish you well, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Take care. Bye.